Hey everyone, Georgia here. I've got something that needs to be addressed briefly, and I'm going to keep this as short as possible. Okay, we put up the SurveyMonkey feedback things because that seems to be the only way that we can get feedback out of anybody. It's the only way a lot of you will come forward and say, hey, I think this is a problem. Even though, the email is there, the Facebook page is there, Tumblr's there, Twitter's there. Everybody knows how to get a hold of us, but yet nobody will approach me. I promise that I'm not going to bite your head off, and the staff is willing to take anything into consideration that is reasonable. And by reasonable, I mean something that is not going to add hours and hours and hours of workload to what we are already doing. So, having said that, when you guys give feedback, and this is a problem, when you guys give feedback, you can't be vague. We need examples. We need you to point fingers and say, hey, this person did this, or hey, why did that person get away with that? Because otherwise, we can only guess what you're talking about. Some of the feedback that we've been getting states that people feel that masters is being handed over on a silver platter, that people are getting masters who have not, and I quote, submitted unique or original content that is all their own. Originally, I thought that everyone had an issue with Vinny Visual's Tomb Raider project that he submitted for the showcase. And my thought, and I will defend that because one, even though the characters are not his, it is an original story. We ran an interview with him, and basically what his films come from is more or less fan fiction that he has written. He's writing original stories for somebody else's characters. Luckily, one of the masters, who isn't afraid to approach me and tell me how things are, pointed out to me that there are 3 projects on the playbill that are adaptations of either a book or manga. Now, one of those I knew about because she stated in her entry when she sent it that she was doing a book adaptation that she was doing a machinima adaptation of a book. And I did an interview with her, and it's an Insider magazine. And she's like, yeah, this is the book, this is why I'm doing it, and so forth and so on. Okay, fine. Not a problem. The other 2 are adaptations, and I am told that they are practically word for word as far as dialogue goes, that are adaptations of manga. The one in the back of my mind, I seem to recall being told that that's what it was. The other one, I didn't have a clue. And the fact that people are The fact that people are doing adaptations that the fact that some of the people that are doing these adaptations are good enough to actually make masters, people are concerned that they aren't quote unquote true masters because the story isn't theirs. It's taken from somebody else. Um, I get this. I get this. I see where this is a problem. And we have a rule change that we are putting into effect for this season as voting is coming up, and it will be in effect going forward. I think that it's a fair enough compromise, and the master that came to me and said, hey, this is what's going on, feels that it's a fair enough compromise. What we're going to do is this. We're not going to tell you that you cannot do adaptations, but we need to know ahead of time. Though I'll put something on the entry form that you can check. Yes, this is an adaptation. We want you to make what you want to make, but these projects are not. These projects are not going to be eligible. When it comes to technical merit awards, these things are not going to be eligible for best dialogue or best story, because in order to get best dialogue or best story, it really does need to be a unique idea. We're not going to say that you cannot be considered for masters. However, those that are voting need to know, as I said, that these are adaptations, because that may affect how they vote. Now, as I explained to the master that came to me, we have no control over how people vote. We have masters voting for the technical merit awards and who's going to be and who's going to be inducted into masters. And every one of them has a slightly different criteria. I mean, they know, okay, I need to look for this technically, I need to look for that. A master's machinima should have this. But the fact that something is not original and the masters feel that you should be able to master everything. So like telling your own story, not recreating somebody else's thing, but telling your own story should be a and should be one of those things that has to happen in order to make masters. I hope that makes sense. That's what I needed to tell everyone, is that going forward from this point on, is that if something is an adaptation, it will not be eligible in the technical merit awards for best story or best dialogue. It may or may not affect if somebody nominates you for masters. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind. If there are any questions, as I said, you know where I am. I'm willing to discuss this with anybody. I'm willing to listen to other arguments for or against this or whatever. Just, I need you, like I said, I need you guys to be specific. I need you to point fingers. I need you to use like previous projects as an example where I know what's going on, where I don't have to guess. It will make everything much easier for everybody going forward. So yeah, thanks for taking your time to listen to this.